Webb might still get there first now, having come from behind twice.
It's a good one.
This is aimed towards Hutchinson.
Peter Houseman died at 31, but before that, he gave Chelsea one of their greatest FA Cup moments. In the FA Cup final replay against Leeds United, on a wet and heavy pitch, Houseman struck a long-range shot. The ball skidded across the surface and slipped under goalkeeper David Harvey. The score was level at 1 goal each. Chelsea went on to win 2-1 after extra time. That single goal helped build a legend. But over the years, stories about him have grown bigger than the facts. And if stories like this deserve a closer look, use the hype feature and give this video some hype as we uncover what was real. The truth is less dramatic, and in one part of his story, far more uncomfortable than the myths suggest. This video will separate the useful player from the inflated legend. It will also separate the real legal case around his death from the invented conspiracy claims that followed it. Peter Houseman was born in Battersea on 24 December 1945. He joined Chelsea through the youth system as a boy. He signed professional terms with the club in 1963. His first team debut came during the 1963-64 season. Chelsea beat Sheffield United 3-2 that day. It was a promising start for a young player still learning his trade. Manager Tommy Docherty was not fully convinced by him, though. Docherty had doubts about his pace and his ability to adapt to different tactical plans. Because of this, Houseman only played on and off in his early years, sometimes waiting weeks for another chance in the first team. Parts of the crowd at Stamford Bridge were not kind to him either. Many fans wanted faster, flashier wingers who could beat a man with skill and excite the terraces. Houseman did not look like a future star at this stage of his career. He was not lazy and he was not without talent. His style was quiet and careful, built on positioning rather than showmanship. It was easy for supporters to overlook him while louder players got the cheers and the headlines. Everything began to shift when Dave Sexton took charge as Chelsea manager in October 1967. Sexton looked at the team differently, and he saw something in Houseman that other people had simply missed. Sexton valued players who did the jobs that never made headlines. He liked tactical discipline. He liked positional sense. He liked defensive effort from wide players, not just going forward. Houseman offered all of this. Chelsea already had big personalities up front. Players like Peter Osgood, Charlie Cook, and Alan Hudson. These players thrilled the crowd with flair, risk, and individual moments of magic. Houseman balanced them out in ways that rarely made the back pages. He tracked back to support fullback Eddie McCready, covering ground that a more attacking winger might have ignored. He held the width of the pitch when others drifted inside, looking for the ball. He supplied steady crosses into the penalty area for the strikers to attack, over and over, match after match. None of this looked glamorous on a Saturday afternoon, and none of it filled newspaper columns. Houseman was not Chelsea's main creator. He was not the club's top scorer. He was never known for dazzling tricks or long dribbles past defenders. His value came from something quieter, order, effort, and balance within the team shape. He made the team work better as a whole. That is a real contribution. But it is not the same thing as being the club's greatest individual player. And the two should not be confused. Houseman's strongest season came in 1969-70 during Chelsea's famous FA Cup run, a campaign still remembered fondly by Chelsea supporters today. Peter Osgood earned most of the headlines that year, scoring in every single round of the competition, an achievement that grabbed the newspapers. Houseman also played a huge part, scoring 6 goals across that same cup run, a total that often gets forgotten. In the semi-final against Watford, played on a muddy pitch at White Hart Lane, Houseman scored twice as Chelsea won 5-1 and booked their place at Wembley. Then came the final itself, against Leeds United, a match that would define both clubs for years afterwards. The first match at Wembley ended in a draw, so the two sides met again in a replay at Old Trafford. On that heavy rain-soaked surface, Houseman struck his equalizer. The shot traveled from long range, skidded on the wet turf, and slipped beneath David Harvey in the Leeds goal. Chelsea eventually won 2-1 after extra time. By the end of his time at the club, Houseman had scored 10 FA Cup goals in 25 FA Cup appearances, a genuinely strong record. Yet even with this record, he was often overlooked in the retelling of that season. The honest explanation is simple. Osgood and other flamboyant players naturally drew more attention. There was no hidden plot against Houseman, and no proof that the club tried to erase him from the story. His cup record stands on its own. But today, His reputation often rests on one famous afternoon, rather than on the full season of steady, unglamorous work behind it. The following season, 1970-71, brought European success. Chelsea entered the Cup Winners' Cup and faced Belgian side club Brugge in the quarter-finals. Chelsea lost the first leg away from home 2-0. In the return match at Stamford Bridge, Houseman scored the opening goal to start the comeback. Chelsea went on to win that leg 4-0 after extra time and progressed in the competition. Houseman then started both matches in the final against Real Madrid, played in Piraeus, Greece. The first match finished 1-1 each on the 19th of May 1971. Chelsea won the replay 2-1 on 24 May 1971. Houseman worked hard on the left wing throughout both games. His tracking back helped limit Real Madrid's counterattacks down the flank. John Dempsey and Peter Osgood scored the goals that won the replay. Across that full season, Houseman made 54 appearances plus 1 appearance from the bench. He scored 6 goals in total. For comparison, Keith Weller scored 14 goals that season, Peter Osgood scored 12, and John Holland scored 9. These numbers should not be used to belittle Houseman. They simply describe his role honestly. He was heavily used and clearly trusted by his manager, but he was not the team's leading attacking threat. His European medal was fully earned through hard, disciplined work over 2 demanding matches against one of the biggest clubs in the world. The evidence shows a reliable supporting player, not a secret center of the whole side. Winning a European trophy against Real Madrid was a huge achievement for English football at the time, and Houseman played every minute of it without seeking any personal glory. By the middle of the 1970s, Chelsea faced serious money problems. Building the large East Stand at Stamford Bridge had created heavy debt that the club could not easily manage. National inflation made things worse, and fewer fans were coming through the gates on match days. To cope, the club sold experienced players and cut its wage bill wherever it could. Dave Sexton's successful squad was gradually broken apart piece by piece until little remained of the team that had beaten Real Madrid. A common online claim says Houseman fell straight into non-league football, or that he joined Leyton Orient after leaving Chelsea. Neither claim is true. The real record shows that Houseman signed for second division side Oxford United in May 1975. Over 2 seasons at Oxford, he made 65 league appearances and scored 2 goals. He acted as a senior, experienced figure in that dressing room, guiding younger players through a difficult period for the club. This was a clear step down from European finals to second division football, but it was not a sudden fall into obscurity, and the popular version of this part of his story should not be repeated as fact. Football wages in Houseman's era were nothing like today's huge modern salaries. Even leading players had to plan for life and work after their playing days ended, often years before they actually retired. Houseman understood this early on in his career. In December 1970, while still playing at his peak for Chelsea, he opened a shop called Cheam Sports in Cheam, Surrey. The shop did well commercially, and it became a regular meeting place for London footballers of the time, a place where players could talk away from the crowds. This side of his life shows a practical, grounded man rather than a glamorous celebrity chasing headlines. Away from the shop, Houseman had another passion that mattered just as much to him. After moving to Oakley, Hampshire in 1967, he began coaching local children on weekends, giving up his free time without any expectation of reward. Along with his wife, Sally, and local helpers, he formed the Basingstoke and District Boys Sunday League. It began on the 9th of February 1969 with just 6 teams and a handful of volunteers. Houseman served as the league's first president, while Sally worked as secretary, and together they built something that would long outlast either of their careers. This grassroots work would go on to mean far more than most people realized at the time. On the night of 20 March 1977, Peter and Sally Houseman were driving home to Oxfordshire with 2 close friends after a charity fundraising event. Their car was traveling on the A40 near Oxford. An oncoming vehicle crossed into their lane. The collision was head-on. Peter, Sally, and both friends were killed. Houseman was just 31 years old. 6 young children across 2 families were left without parents that night. The driver of the other car was 22-year-old Bartholomew Smith, the son of Conservative MP John Smith. Evidence given at the trial said Smith was badly intoxicated after a dinner linked to Oxford University's Bullingdon Club. Witnesses described his speed as maniacal. Smith was convicted of dangerous driving. His punishment was a £4,000 fine and a 10-year driving ban. He did not go to prison. This is the part of the story that people often get wrong online. There is no proof of sabotage, no proof of a hidden driver, and no proof of a suppressed trial. The trial happened. The driver was named publicly, and the outcome was recorded in the newspapers of the day. What actually happened was public anger, real and justified anger, at how light the punishment felt after 4 people had died in a single avoidable crash. 9 days after the tragic crash, on the 29th of March 1977, Chelsea held a memorial match at Stamford Bridge to help the families left behind. The club's 1970 FA Cup winning team played against the current 1977 side. More than 16,000 supporters came to watch. The money raised went towards a trust for the children left behind. Oxford United and Swindon Town also helped with fundraising efforts. In time, the youth league Houseman had helped build was renamed the Peter Houseman Youth League in his honor. The playing fields at Oakley were dedicated to his memory too. That league later grew to support more than 50 clubs and over 200 youth teams. Across his career, Houseman made 269 league appearances for Chelsea. He won the FA Cup, and he won the European Cup Winners' Cup, 2 major honors earned through years of steady, disciplined work. Peter Houseman was never a secret superstar, and his death was never an unsolved mystery hiding behind closed doors. He was a hard-working footballer, a loving husband, and a devoted coach, whose true legacy grew even larger off the pitch than any myth ever built around him on it.